Good morning, everyone. We are Group 3, and today we are honored to present our PAD104 topic, the National Development Policy or NDP. My name is Malika, and I'm joined by Eliza, Farah, Inshira, and Afika. This presentation is based on our research assignment, and we hope it will give you a clear understanding of the policy's objectives, its impact on national development, and the challenges Malaysia faces today. Here's an overview of what we will be covering today. We will start with an introduction to the NDP and move into the key issues such as cost and benefit analysis. We will then explain government investment related to the policy, outline the main objectives, and identify the key implementing bodies behind its execution. After that, we will walk you through the implementation strategies, evaluate the policy using SWOT analysis, and highlight both opportunities and threats that could affect its success. And finally, we will wrap up with our conclusion based on what we have learned. Introduction. The National Development Policy or NDP was introduced in 1991 by Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. It was designed to replace the new economic policy, the NEP, while continuing its mission to reduce poverty and restructure society. However, the NDP emphasized a more balanced approach between economic growth and equitable distribution of wealth. It also supported Malaysia's long-term ambition to become a fully developed nation through Vision 2020. In short, the NDP aimed to build not only a stronger economy, but also a more united, fair, and inclusive society for all Malaysians.
Okay guys, now let's move on for the next point, which is issue, costs and benefits. For the first point, we have poverty rate reduction. One of the biggest successes of Malaysia's national development policy is the sharp decline in poverty. In 1970, almost half the population, which is 49.3%, lived below the poverty line. But by 2012, that number dropped to just 1.7%. That's a 97% reduction in a little over 4 decades. This shows how well-planned policies focusing on economic growth, education, healthcare, and also social support can truly transform lives. It's a great example of what inclusive development can achieve. So for the next point, we can say that ongoing challenges are also one of the issue. Even with Malaysia's progress, we still face some serious ongoing challenges. First, access to quality education and healthcare remain uneven. Many rural and poorer areas still don't have enough well-equipped schools or clinics. This creates long-term disadvantages, especially for children and families in those regions. Second, rural poverty is still an issue. While overall poverty has decreased, rural communities lag behind due to weaker infrastructure and fewer job opportunities. And third, many Malaysians face underemployment, meaning that they have jobs, but those jobs don't pay enough or are unstable. This makes it hard for families to save, invest, or improve their living standards. So, while we've made big strides, these areas still need focused attention to achieve true inclusive development. So for the last point, we have COVID-19 impact. The COVID-19 pandemic had a major impact on Malaysia's progress under the National Development Policy. Firstly, our healthcare system was under a lot of pressure. Quarantine and treatment facilities were stretched thin, especially in rural areas where access to hospitals was already limited. Secondly, the economy took a serious hit. Many people, especially from low-income groups, lost jobs or saw their income fall. Small businesses also struggled, leading to a rise in financial stress. To respond, the United Nations Development Programme donated around 860,000 to support the government's relief efforts. The government also increased spending to build and improve treatment centers and support vulnerable families. As what we can see, COVID-19 reminds us how quickly progress can be disrupted and how important it is to build strong, inclusive systems that can withstand future crises. Next is government investment. Let's start with development spending. In 2023, the government has allocated 19.7 billion ringgit, the highest in over a decade. Why such a large amount? Because this investment is meant to drive economic growth, tackle poverty, and help manage the rising cost of living. It's a long-term move to strengthen the economy and support the people where it matters most. Next is subsidies and financial aid. 15.5 billion ringgit has been set aside for subsidies, grants, and direct support to the people. This includes programs such like Bantuan Keluarga Malaysia, which provide much needed help to low-income households and vulnerable groups. It's about making sure that even during tough times, no one is left behind. Third, support for key sectors, which is healthcare and education. Healthcare is another key focus. Funds are being used to build new clinics and hospitals, purchase medical equipment, and improve public health service. The goal is simple, which is better access to quality healthcare for everyone, especially in rural and underserved areas. Education also receives strong support. The government is investing in repairing all schools, improving special education programs, and also offering better training for teachers. This isn't just about fixing buildings, it's also about raising the overall quality of education and creating a more inclusive system for all the students. So, to wrap up, this investment shows the government's commitment to not just managing today's challenges, but also building a stronger, more resilient Malaysia for the future.
Next is housing. This initiative to provide affordable housing for low-income families. One of the main goals of the National Development Policy is to ensure equitable distribution of resources and to improve the quality of life for all Malaysians, especially the low-income group. Under this policy, the government invests in various housing schemes such as Projek Perumahan Rakyat, PPR, and Rumah Mampu Milik. This initiative aim to provide comfortable and safe living conditions at a reasonable cost, thereby reducing urban poverty and addressing issues of overcrowded and unsafe housing. Affordable housing also contribute to social stability and economic productivity. Next is youth employment. Programs like the Capital Market Graduate Program to improve graduate employability and address youth unemployment. Youth empowerment is a key pillar of national development. Under the National Development Policy, the government support programs such as the Capital Market Graduate Program, which equip young graduates with the skill and training needed to be competitive in the job market. This program bridges the gap between education and employment by providing internship, mentoring, and industry-relevant training. The aim is to reduce youth unemployment, enhance human capital, and support the long-term economic growth of the nation by nurturing a capable and skilled workforce. Next, we move to main objective of the National Development Policy. First, promote unity and reduce ethnic and regional disparities. This means the government wants to make sure all races and areas, whether in cities or villages, get equal chances to succeed. Everyone should feel included and treated fairly. Second, advance industrialization and economic resilience. The government wants to make our economy stronger by building more factories, supporting business, and using new technology. This helps our country grow and be ready if the world economy changes. Third, to ensure fair distribution of development benefits. When the country develops, everyone should get the benefits, not just the rich or people in big cities. But the government also wants to make sure poor people and those in rural areas also enjoy better living. And lastly, to strengthen rural-urban balance and national integration. The aim is to make sure both village and city areas grow together. Roads, school, and hospital should improve in all areas so people don't feel left out and the country stays united.
Now, I will be presenting about the key actors involved in Malaysia's policy programs and development activities, specifically under the National Development Policy or NDP. There are few important actors or agencies that have helped to developing the countries such as NPC, NDPC, EPU, MOF, BNM, DOSM, ICU, and more. But first, let's start with the National Planning Council or NPC. This is the highest level body overseeing Malaysia's national development. It is chaired by the Prime Minister, who leads the council with the support of key cabinet ministers, especially those in charge of the economy, social development, and infrastructure. The NPC provide leadership, set national goals, and improve the Malaysia plans before they go to Parliament. A well-known example is in 1991, when Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad introduced Vision 2020, aiming to make Malaysia a fully developed country by the year 2020. The NPC ensured that all the government ministers work together and align with the long-term national visions. Next is the National Development Planning Committee or NDPC. This committee operates just below the NPC and is chaired by the Chief Secretary to the government, also known as the Ketua Setiausaha Negara (KSU), the top-ranking civil servant in Malaysia. The NDPC acts like the main planning team. It includes senior officials such as the Secretaries General and Directors General from important ministries and agencies like the Economy Planning Unit (EPU), the Ministry of Finance (MOF), Bank Negara Malaysia (BNM), and the Department of Statistics Malaysia (DOSM). Their job is to collect feedback from different departments, refine ideas, and shape the final development plan before passing them up to the NPC. The Economy Planning Unit or EPU play a critical role in the planning process. It is part of the Prime Minister Department and was established in 1961. The EPU prepares and coordinates the 5-year Malaysia plans. It studies the economy, evaluates past plans, propose policies, and manage the development expenditure, which is the budget for large national projects. The EPU also gathers feedback from other government ministries, the private sector, civil society, and the public. This is done through Interagency Planning Group, IAPGs, Technical Working Group, TWG, and Public Focus Group. Lastly, the EPU also works with the Implementations Coordination Unit (ICU) to monitor progress. Next, I will be telling about implementing strategy in national development policy. The first major strategy under Malaysia's development plan focused on equitable income distributions, where the government, particularly during the second half of the Malaysia plan, aim to narrow the income gap while maintaining strong economic growth. A notable initiative supporting this goal is the Bumi Putra program, which successfully increased economic participations among the Bumi Putra community by cultivating many entrepreneurs. However, despite this progress, certain groups such as the Orang Asli in Sabah and Sarawak, the Indian minority, and other non-Bumi Putra community continue to face significant economic disadvantage. Addressing this inequality is crucial to prevent potential social tensions or racial bias. In today's context, there is also growing emphasis on Islamic economic values, especially the implementations of distribution system free of riba or interest, which is believed to foster a fairer and more spiritually beneficial economic structure. Current research is exploring how profit-sharing system can potentially deliver more equitable outcome compared to conventional interest-based financial models. The second strategy centers on the implementation of solid development framework with Islamic principles, which play a key role in strengthening Malaysia's financial infrastructure, saving rates, productivity, and overall competitiveness. Beyond this economic factor, the framework also supports management improvements, particularly in areas such as human resource development and economic governance. Malaysia continuously monitors international market trends, especially from major trade partners, to ensure that the national resources are used efficiently and strategically. At the same time, efforts are being intensified to improve income distributions and raise the overall quality of life, reflecting the core goals of the National Development Policy. Importantly, the concept of development is viewed as a continued process, particularly for countries still progressing toward advanced status. These visions were clearly outlined in Vision 2020 by Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, which aims to guide Malaysia toward becoming a developed, people-focused nation. The third strategy focuses on infrastructure growth and global collaborations, where Malaysia actively responds to evolving international trends and risks such as trade disruptions, U.S. deficits, and fluctuating interest rate. This global challenge demands greater flexibility in how countries manage their economies. Positive indicators such as rising corporate earnings, increased investment, and growing labor productivity suggest a more resilient global economy. In response, Malaysia continued to strengthen its positions through international cooperations, particularly as a member of ASEAN. These regional collaborations offer multiple benefits, including increased foreign investment, technology exchange, and enhanced access to imports and export. Ultimately, these partnerships contribute to national security, economic prosperity, and Malaysia's continued progress in the global arena.
For the next one is evaluation of SWOT analysis. Firstly is strength. Number one is strong GDP growth, 7% in 1990s. The economy experienced rapid expansion, indicating successful development policies and increased investor confidence. Number two is improved Bumiputra equity, rural development. Policies like the NEP help uplift rural areas and provide more economic opportunities for the Bumiputra community. Next is weakness. Number one is gaps for orang asli and poor non-Bumiputra. Despite progress, some minorities groups were left behind, showing inequality in policy reach. Number two is project delays, reliance on state spending. Over-dependence on government funding led to inefficiencies and delays in development projects. The next one is opportunities. Number one is FDI boost from solid infrastructure. Malaysia's good roads, ports, and connectivity attract more foreign investors. Number two is growth in digital economy and targeted aid. Embracing technology and well-directed assistance can uplift underdeveloped sectors and groups. Lastly is threats. Crisis 1997 and COVID-19. Financial and health crisis disrupt economic growth and expose weaknesses in preparedness. Number two is climate impacts on rural areas. Rural communities are more vulnerable to floods, rainfall deficit, and other environmental changes. Lastly is high public expectation. Citizens increasingly demand transparency, equity, and efficiency, pressuring policymakers to deliver.
To conclude our presentation, we can see that the National Development Policy or NDP was built upon the goals of the new economic policy. It didn't just continue those goals, it expanded on them by emphasizing long-term development and sustainability. Secondly, the NDP gave more focus to unity, equity, and growth, showing that academic progress should come with fairness and national harmony. Third, one of the key takeaways is that policies need to be continuously updated. We live in a dynamic society with changing challenges,
So, stagnant policies will not be effective. And lastly, success can only happen when there's teamwork between the public and the government. Policies like the NDP require support, cooperation, and participation from everyone. Only then can national goals truly be achieved. That brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for your attention. We hope this session helped you understand more about the National Development Policy and its importance in shaping Malaysia's future. If there are any questions, we will be happy to answer them now.